Good evening and welcome to Newswatch on this Friday, the 4th day of July 2025. On today's conundrum, we examine construction of a 1.2 billion shillings church at State House by President William Ruto, who says that he has no apologies to make. Stick around for that in the course of this bulletin. I'm Tess Njenga and our sign language interpreter is Boniface Murithi. Let us dive into the day's news. Emotions ran high in Homa Bay today as mourners gathered to pay their final respects to slain teacher and blogger Albert Omondi Ojwang. His funeral has once again brought the issue of police brutality and justice in Kenya into the national spotlight. Hundreds of mourners filled the grounds of Nyawango Primary School in Homa Bay County, demanding accountability and an end to police brutality, enforced disappearances, and extrajudicial killings. Ojwang was arrested at his father's home and briefly detained at Mawego Police Station. He was later transferred by DCI officers to Nairobi's Central Police Station, where he died under unclear circumstances. Meanwhile, Embakasi Member of Parliament Babu Owino has called for the arrest and life imprisonment of Deputy Police Boss Eliud Lagat and his accomplices. Now, President William Ruto has defended his decision to build a 1.2 billion shillings church at State House, Nairobi, amidst growing public concern. Speaking earlier today while hosting a delegation from Embu at State House, the president said he has no apologies for the project. Ruto clarified that no public funds will be used, insisting the church will be fully financed from his personal resources. He described the move as a reflection of his strong Christian faith and a commitment to honoring God despite the country's current economic challenges.
Mimi ni mtu naamini Mungu. Na I have no apologies to make. Kwa kujenga kanisa, I have no apology. Mnanielewa? Na hakuna mtu nitaomba msamaha. Kwa kujenga kanisa, tutajenga kanisa ya Mungu. Shetani akasirike, afanye ile anataka. Nyinyi mnanielewa? Naambiwa hata kwa magazeti leo ati kuna mtu anasema ati mimi najenga kanisa hapa State House. Ni kweli, mimi najenga kanisa hapa State House. Nyinyi mnanielewa? Hapa State House nilikuja nikakuta kanisa ya mabati. Kanisa ya mabati inatoshana na State House. Hata kwa maoni yenu. So, nasijengi na pesa ya serikali, mimi najenga na pesa yangu. Hapa, nitakuja kuwapeleka siku ingine tuende tuombe huko. So, nilikuta, mimi sijaanzisha kanisa State House, nilikuta kanisa ikiweko. Shida tu ilikuwa ya mabati. Sasa, nimeamua nijenge kanisa inatoshana na State House. Na haitagharimu serikali ya Kenya peni moja. Nitajenga na pesa zangu kwa sababu kanisa ya Mungu ni mahali ambapo panatoshana na heshima.
Moving on, as the opposition continues with its Meet the People tour, former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has revealed plans for the opposition to unite behind a single presidential candidate in a bid to take over government. Speaking during a stop in Bungoma County, Gachagua praised the people for their resilience and commitment to democratic ideals, urging them to support them form the next government. He was accompanied by opposition leaders, among them Kalonzo Musyoka, George Natembeya, Eugene Wamalwa, Fred Matiang'i, Cleophas Malala, and Justin Muturi. The team later proceeded to Busia County, where they officially opened the DAPK offices in Butula constituency as part of the ongoing Mulembe Nation tour.
Wakati President Ruto alikuja hapa akitafuta kura, alisema kwamba tunapewa 30%, si ndio? Hiyo 30% mnajua mahali ilienda? Hawa jamaa walipewa wakakula. Walipewa wakauzia watu, mara nyingi mna pesa ya kununua, si ndio? Tunasema rishwa. Tunasema rishwa. Wakati wa jamii ya Muluya kuwa watchman, kuwa maid, kuwa mtu wa kuchimba makaburi, mtu wa kupasua kuni kwa matanga, tunasema nini? Tunasema nini? Yale mambo tunazungumza hapa, na nilisema zamani nilikuwa waziri wa usalama, ya kwamba watu wanaingia wakati wa riot vile tuliona last Wednesday na Sabasaba inakuja Jumatatu. Alafu watu wanaingia town wakiwa na rungu na kisu, wanapora mali ya watu, wounds wanaletwa huko. Alafu serikali inatuambia eti ni upinzani imelipa hao watu. Sisi tuko na namna ya kulipa watu kama hao? Sisi hatuna namna ya kulipa goons.
Sasa nyinyi watu ya Busia, huyu Raila amepatiwa nafasi na William Ruto kuingia serikali, amefukuza Ababu. Huyo mtu mtamfuata? Hata saa hii amemwambia Kasongo, wewe hapana jali, hii Waluya yote ni yangu, nitakuletea. Itawezekana? Let me tell you my cousins, Raila Odinga has misused the Mulembe Nation.
Lazima Kasongo tukiwa kule Ikulu mara moja kotini. Huyu Kasongo ni mtu anastahili kuwa jela maisha mwake yote ile mabaki.
Waliuliza Mudavadi utuuzie chama, akauza ANC. Wakauliza Wetangula tupatie chama yako, Wetangula akasema afadhali abaki na Ford Kenya lakini Nzoia iende. Sasa sisi tunasema tukitaka tukomboe Nzoia, tukitaka tumalize uongozi wa kuua vijana wetu kila wakati, Ruto must go.
If you want a country that is reliable, that takes care of his people, that takes care of his most vulnerable, that takes care of people with disability, that takes care of people from Bungoma, then we must demand good governance and management of state resources.
Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe has condemned the rising cases of property destruction during public demonstrations, saying they are acts of anarchy. Speaking during his ongoing tour of Nakuru County, CS Kagwe said criminal gangs had infiltrated the constitutionally recognized protests to sow chaos and distraction to personal and government property, leaving the blame on the Gen Z youth. He has called on the Ministry of Interior to take decisive action, ensuring that criminal elements do not hijack the Gen Z movement to disrupt livelihoods and threaten national stability. He has meanwhile urged Kenyans to remain vigilant and take civic responsibility in safeguarding public and private property, warning that criminals must not be allowed to operate under the cover of legitimate protests.
Mchunge hii mambo ya kuharibu vitu. Mnaona sasa hapa ni NCPB, si mnaona? Hii ni NCPB. Yes. Na ina fertilizer na ina nini na mambo kama hayo na ina mahindi and so on and so forth. Juzi tulikuwa na NCPB pale upande wa Meru ambao mlisikia vile mambo ilifanyika. Jameni, hiyo sasa hiyo ni ugaifu. Na ni lazima tuseme vile ilivyo. Hiyo sio mambo ya Gen Z. Musidanganywe ni mtu ati ni watoto wenu ambao walikuwa wana demonstrate, walivunja hiyo kitu maua, walivunja police station. Sio watoto. It is not our children. It is not our children who are doing those things. It is not the Gen Z demonstrators who are doing those things. These things are planned by criminals. Wale ambao mnasikia wanaingia supermarkets, it is not these young people. Ni watu ambao wanajua kuna maandamano siku fulani, alafu sasa wanapanga hiyo maneno so that they can hide behind the demonstrations. And we are asking you to be vigilant. This is your factory. Inaweza kuwa ni factory ya serikali, lakini nyinyi ndio mnafanya kazi hapa. Factory ikiharibika, ikifungwa, nani anapoteza kazi? So we need to be also vigilant as citizens of the country. We also ought to take citizen responsibility and protect what we have, so that we don't lose our livelihoods, and so that we don't lose, we don't destroy what we have got in our hands. Demonstrations ni sawa, hakuna, it is protected in our constitution. That is fine. But people can demonstrate nicely without a problem. Hakuna kitu, Ufaransa, there is a demonstration in France every day. Sio hii yenu ya kusema saba sijui siku gani. Hapana. Every single day there is a demonstration in France. Nothing ever gets destroyed. Nothing. Watu wana demonstrate and we hear what they say, but nothing is destroyed. So we must make sure that criminals do not hide behind our children so that they can destroy us and destroy the livelihoods that we have.
Now, Information, Communication and the Digital Economy Cabinet Secretary William Kabogo has defended the decision by the Communications Authority (CA) to switch off digital signals for 3 media houses for providing live coverage during the June 25th demonstrations of the Gen Z. Speaking at the Dedan Kimathi University during the launch of the 5-year strategic plan for the Office of the Data Protection, Kabogo clarified that the government was not keen on curtailing media freedom. He, however, said that it would have been unethical for the state to allow media houses to continue streaming violent scenes from the demonstrations.
Kenya, in this digital age, our constitution, particularly Article 31C and D, alongside the Data Protection Act 2019, clearly emphasizes the importance of protecting our citizens' privacy. Ladies and gentlemen, Kenya is firmly on the path of digital transformation, guided by our bottom-up economic transformation agenda, the National Digital Master Plan 2022-2032, Kenya Vision 2030, and other policy frameworks that position ICT at the heart of our socio-economic growth. Our collective vision is to build a digitally empowered nation where every citizen, regardless of location or background, can benefit from the digital economy. To achieve this vision, we are actively implementing several transformative initiatives. One, rolling out an additional 100,000 kilometers of fiber optic cable to ensure that even the most remote parts of Kenya are digitally connected. Secondly, operationalization of 1,450 constituency digital hubs to enhance digital literacy and empower citizens through.
On that note, let's take a short break on Newswatch. We have plenty more coming up on the other side. Stay with us.
Hope TV is where you look and live, with an excellent selection of the best Christian programming consisting of local and international content, of inspirational stories, talk shows, Bible commentary, youth, health shows, children entertainment, contemporary gospel music, extended times of worship, live broadcast, news, movies, drama, Christian ministry programs, and so much more. Hope TV is another quality service from Christ is the Answer Ministries, with over 45% of authentic and credible local content every week. Hope TV is a sister station to Hope FM, Kenya's leading Christian radio station, with footprints across the country. Tune in to Hope TV where you look and live.
Rafiki soul is the promise of a hand that reaches and goes beyond what angaza tumaini kote. I'm forever grateful. Ninashukuru ukarimu, ukarimu. I'm forever grateful. Ninashukuru ukarimu, ukarimu. Rafiki soul is a promise of a hand that reaches and goes beyond what angaza tumaini kote. I'm forever grateful. Ninashukuru ukarimu, ukarimu. I'm forever grateful. Ninashukuru ukarimu, ukarimu. Rafiki msoul.
Friends of Hope, keeping hope alive.
Thank you for tuning in to Hope TV, your go-to channel for hope, inspiration, education, and wholesome entertainment. At Hope TV, we are committed to knowing God and making Him known through powerful media content. We truly value you and are dedicated to serving you better. For feedback, inquiries, or complaints, reach out via WhatsApp or SMS on 0708 222 323. Email us at customerexperience@hopefm.org. Hope TV, look and live.
Welcome back. The government has reaffirmed its strong commitment to science, technology, and innovation as key drivers of sustainable development and economic growth. Speaking on behalf of President William Ruto at the Arise SD Scientific Conference in Accra, Ghana, Education Cabinet Secretary Julius Migos Ogamba called for increased investment in research across Africa. He noted that while the continent pledged to spend 1% of GDP on research, current spending stands at just 0.42%, far below the global average of 1.7%. CS Ogamba said Kenya is working to boost STI funding to the AU recommended target and has already established a dedicated State Department for Science, Research and Innovation. He has meanwhile stressed the need for stronger intra-African and global partnerships to drive innovation and inclusive growth.
Have become key cornerstones of sustainable development in the world today. At a continental level, the place of science and innovation is well captured in the African Union Agenda 2063 and in the Science, Technology and Innovation Strategy for Africa 2024 to 2034. These instruments recognize that science and innovation are essential to the achievements of our collective aspirations for inclusion as we hold our deliberations here, we must reflect on the causes of this underperformance. One of the key causes that has been noted is underfunding. We committed to spending 1% of our annual gross domestic product on research and development.
Now, across our borders, in a major political shake-up, Nigeria's two main opposition leaders, Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi, have joined forces under a new political banner, the African Democratic Congress, ADC, to challenge President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in the 2027 general elections. The two leaders have officially broken away from their former parties. Atiku from the People's Democratic Party, PDP, and Obi from the Labour Party, that is LP, in a strategic move to consolidate the opposition vote. The decision comes after months of behind-the-scenes negotiations aimed at avoiding a repeat of the 2023 elections, where a divided opposition helps President Tinubu secure victory.
That is working on us tonight. Hey, thank you, Jesus. Let the redeemed of the Lord say so. If you are the redeemed of the Lord, say something to the Father. Tell him I thank you for the same things you've been crying about. Say thank you, Jesus. It has to work for your good.
To build 3 new markets in Embu County, bringing the total number of markets in the region to 12. Speaking at State House, Nairobi, during a meeting with grassroots leaders from Embu, the president also announced a 1 billion shillings investment aimed at connecting over 12,000 households to electricity. He reaffirmed his administration's commitment to working with all leaders to transform Kenya, with a particular focus on strengthening the health system to ease the financial burden on citizens.
Mulinieleza maneno ya stima tushughulike naye. Sasa msikize vizuri. Nimepata pesa milioni 570. Hiyo kazi tumeshapatiana kandarasi. Contractor anakuja mwezi huu wa 7. Na tumekubaliana before December tuwe tumeunganisha nyumba 6,700 kwa mambo ya stima. Alafu vile niko na phase 2 ya milioni 450 ambaye tutaongeza pesa another 450 million ijae 1 billion shillings ndio tuunganishe stima ingine 5,300. Na hiyo program ya 450 million inaanza mwezi wa 11. Tunajenga soko 9 Embu, si ndio? Mumeambiwa na governor. Soko ya Embu Town inaendelea na nyinyi mnaelewa mahali imefika, tunaisukuma, tunaikaza. I want by the end of this year nikuje nifungue ikiwa iko tayari. Runyenjes Market imeanza. Si namna hiyo? Isiara Market inaendelea. Karurumo iko market. Mbuvori iko market. Makutano iko market. Tumetangaza market ya Kangaru na tumetangaza market ya Mutuovare na Kiriari. Nitaongeza market 3. Nitaongeza ya Siakago na ya Kianjokoma na Kiritiri.
The government has launched a fresh drive to revive Kenya's pyrethrum industry, with Agriculture and Livestock Development Cabinet Secretary Senator Mutahi Kagwe inaugurating the new board of the Pyrethrum Processing Company of Kenya in Nakuru. Speaking at the official opening of the 2025 Nakuru National Agricultural Show, CS Kagwe said the move is part of a broader strategy to reclaim Kenya's position in the global pyrethrum value chain, while also transforming the sector to meet modern market demands. The ministry is also reclaiming intellectual property rights and key assets to ensure that farmers and the country benefit fully from revenue and royalties.
Yesterday, I had the distinguished honor of inaugurating the Pyrethrum Processing Company of Kenya board here in Nakuru. This is a first. Our goal is to revive this sector by concurrently addressing both the supply and demand side factors to not only regain our position in this value chain globally, but innovate to meet the demands of an ever more aspirational, environmentally and health conscious consumer. We are investing in research and production, providing market linkages for our world-renowned organic pyrethrin, and we are reclaiming our intellectual property rights and other assets so that farmers and Kenya can earn its rightful share of revenues from production and royalties. We have already banned over 77 harmful pesticides and partially restricted or contained over 100 others. This is an ongoing process. It is a business opportunity for you. The rising supply gap from these banned molecules will be filled by encouraging both local and foreign investors to buy from you, the pyrethrum farmer, add value here so as to create jobs and build our technical expertise and capacities, and ultimately deliver great prices for our farmers.
The government has issued a stern warning to individuals targeting businesses during protests, vowing to hold accountable anyone found vandalizing or looting property. This follows the June 25th demonstrations marking the first anniversary of last year's parliament storming, during which over 10 million shillings worth of property was destroyed, according to the business community. The warning was issued during a meeting in Nanyuki, where officials and stakeholders discussed ways to prevent future destruction in Laikipia County during protests.
Hope TV is where you look and live, with an excellent selection of the best Christian programming consisting of local and international content, of inspirational stories, talk shows, Bible commentary, youth, health shows, children entertainment, contemporary gospel music, extended times of worship, live broadcast, news, movies, drama, Christian ministry programs, and so much more. Hope TV is another quality service from Christ is the Answer Ministries, with over 45% of authentic and credible local content every week. Hope TV is a sister station to Hope FM, Kenya's leading Christian radio station, with footprints across the country. Tune in to Hope TV, where you look and live.
Thank you for tuning in to Hope TV, your go-to channel for hope, inspiration, education, and wholesome entertainment. At Hope TV, we are committed to knowing God and making Him known through powerful media content. We truly value you and are dedicated to serving you better. For feedback, inquiries, or complaints, Reach out via WhatsApp or SMS on 0708 222 323. Email us at customerexperience@hopefm.org. Hope TV, look and live.
Sports. Kenya's men's national football team Harambee Stars is gearing up for the CECAFA Four Nations Cup, a crucial warm-up tournament ahead of the CHAN Championship scheduled for August. The regional showdown kicks off on July 24th at Karatu Stadium in Arusha, Tanzania, where Kenya will face hosts Tanzania in their opening match. Uganda and South Sudan will clash earlier on the same day in the tournament's opener. The tournament is expected to provide vital match experience and tactical sharpening for Harambee Stars as they prepare for CHAN. It also marks a key milestone for new head coach Benny McCarthy, who will be guiding the team into his first major tournament at the helm. KCB racing team drivers are revving up for the Rwanda Mountain Gorilla Rally, the third leg of the Africa Rally Championship, which runs from July 4th to 6th in Kigali. The event has received a significant boost with BPR Bank pledging 4 million shillings in support of 4 top drivers. At least 35 competitors are expected to take part in the thrilling 386-kilometer challenge, which begins at the Kigali Convention Center before heading to the demanding stages of Bugesera. Kenya's hopes will be pinned on rally aces Nikhil Sachania and Carl Tundo, who are among the key contenders flying the national flag in Rwanda.
WRC was a very nice event. We had a lot of ups and downs. As you recall, we had to retire on the first day when we broke the arm, and then consequently the second day we had a bolt that came out of the car, and it kind of hampered our progress. We really enjoyed the Soisambu stages when it rained, so we managed to gain a lot of time. To be honest, our expectations were just now to finish with the new car, and we weren't of course at the start we were aiming to win the ARC3 and the WRC3 category, but then obviously with all these setbacks we were kind of like, let's just bring the car home. And but then when we had the Elementaita, Soisambu, Sleeping Warrior stages, we were in such a good rhythm. We caught up with the guy who was in front, and we were still in contention to actually take the title. Come Sunday, and we were WRC3 winners and ARC3 winners. So it was I think a very big achievement on my part. So it was the first time out. We were in Uganda. Myself especially, I've never been to Uganda, so it was a nice experience. Of course, we were further away from the main city. Very many fans, very big support from them. Stages were very nice. Of course.
Welcome to today's conundrum. Now, Kenyans woke up to a startling headline this morning, revealing that a church is being built inside State House, Nairobi. As some pondered on the seriousness of the story, President William Ruto today confirmed that a 1.2 billion shillings church is indeed under construction at State House. Even more startling is the fact that he says he has no apologies to make. Speaking today while hosting a delegation from Embu, the president was unapologetic, insisting the project will be funded from his personal resources, not the public coffers. According to him, the church is a personal expression of faith and a way of honoring God. But while the president may view this as an act of devotion, many Kenyans are asking, why now? Is this the priority? And what does it mean for the president to build on public property with private funds? We are a country battling record unemployment, a strained healthcare system, rising taxation, and an ever-widening gap between the rich and the poor. Many families are struggling to put food on the table. Against this grim backdrop, can the head of state building a billion-shillings church at the heart of State House really be justified? And then there is the bigger question, the constitutional question. Where do we draw the line between public and private property? The Constitution of Kenya under Article 8 explicitly separates religion from the state. State House is not a private compound. It is the seat of power, funded, get this, maintained and protected by taxpayer money. If a sitting president can unilaterally convert part of a national institution into a private sanctuary, where does that leave our democratic checks and balances? We must also ask, what precedent is being set here? If a future president were to decide to build a mosque or a shrine or even a political monument inside State House, should that also be allowed as a personal choice? And more curiously, why now? Is this church project merely a smokescreen, conveniently diverting national attention from growing public discontent? Just today, Kenyans buried Albert Omondi Ojwang, the teacher and blogger who died under mysterious circumstances while in police custody. His funeral in Homa Bay reignited calls for justice, an end to police brutality, and deep reforms in the National Police Service. Yet, instead of national mourning or reflection, the headlines were hijacked by bricks, mortar, and a presidential altar. This moment forces us to confront hard truths. Do our leaders truly have their priorities in order? Is this government truly in touch with the pain and frustrations many Kenyans are feeling? Or are we once again witnessing the kind of tone-deaf governance that sacrifices substance for symbolism? At a time when public trust in institutions is eroding, should the focus be turned to prestige projects? Kenyans deserve accountability, dignity, and leadership that reflects the country's urgent needs. Just how many people will be able to attend a service in such a protected zone? A cathedral for about 8,000 people, while some Kenyans do not even have a roof over their heads. Instead of the government building bridges of trust with it, there seems to be a deliberate effort to cut ties completely. And then what? How will the government lead a people who have lost complete trust in them? And that is today's conundrum. And today's conundrum brings us to the end of our news bulletin this evening. On behalf of the whole team, thank you for watching. I'm Tess Njenga, and our sign language interpreter is Boniface Murithi. Till next time, have a good night.